When you're thinking about our country, when you're thinking about our motherland, Africa, think about the things that can bring us partnerships. Don't think you know all the good ideas. Understand that there are a lot of people who are educated, who are intelligent, who are exposed, who might be just need an opportunity to show what they have. You are one of those real people who seek to change the minds first, because it all starts in this mind, Tonton. They say if the mind doesn't believe it, the body won't achieve it.
Ejima, you worked in this country for some time. Before we go, you worked in the country. You know the reality of this country.
Absolutely.
You actually abandoned what you had built in America to come back to this country. What were the challenges of leaving everything in America, your family, and coming to the reality of mosquitoes, bad water, delestage, eneo, and the reality of not being able to feed your family with whatever you are making here?
You know, it was interesting because it was like you living in Bali Park where I grew up, right? And then you go for holidays to your rich uncle's house in the center of Bastos, and after 3 months you come back to Bali Park. All of a sudden, 3 months in your rich uncle's house wouldn't have changed. You know, you don't get totally oblivious of where you came from, right? So to me, I understood the challenges because I have lived, was born, enjoyed Cameroon, traveled Cameroon, so I understood the challenges. But the bigger thing to me was, how can I, as a proud son of Cameroon and Africa, who've been able to travel, what is it that I can bring back to my country to help be able to bridge and provide real value? So to me, that was more driving to me than any impediment that was on the way.
Did it in any way affect the way you're risen right now, your stay in the country, the experiences, the things you went through? Did it in any way, build up your mindset to...
Absolutely.
What were the challenges that brought you to where you are right now with this complete human being that you are?
Man, Tonton, there are a bunch of them, but I'll just go about it in a way that makes sense in context of top stuff, right? The first challenge was the ability to understand that anything you want to achieve in life, which is consistent, which is sustainable, it will take time and it will take sacrifice. What does sacrifice mean? Sacrifice means, I thought, okay, Gustav, you know what? You cannot go to people's country who've built it for 400 years, buy a home, buy a wife, buy a car, enjoy your life, and just forget about where you came from. What is it that you can transfer to your country of birth? How can you help that process, right? So when I moved back the first time in the early 2000s, right, working with a multinational company, you know the whole story, the big challenge that I faced, of course, was just dealing with the reality of, traffic, the usual thing of light is off, light is on, and all those kind of things. But to me, it was small, because when I looked at the vision, when I looked at what drove me to want to do that, I realized that part of the way to get anything is that sacrifice. It's easy to say, but now when the tire hits the road, can you make the sacrifice? So that is what kept me driving with that sacrifice, and the ability to understand that, listen, nobody's coming to do it for us. We have to. The second other important challenge is something you just brought up here. The ability, there is a certain amount of dissonance between people who live in the diaspora and our brothers and sisters locally. I really want to encourage everyone to understand that we are partners. We are not axis.
Yeah, because we have this way of looking at you guys as, ils ont réussi, ils veulent nous donner des leçons sur comment vivre notre vie, la diaspora, et puis quoi. But there's a lot of fear of we have a phobia for diaspora, because a lot of you in the diaspora, you have this sabitu attitude, and you think that you know better. Vous pensez que vous avez des leçons à nous donner, et que non, on n'a aucune connaissance de rien. Vous venez avec, and is this higher level up to down method that actually kills the collaborative spirit?
You bring
Is that how are you coming to teach us something? Because moi je pense, Samba Anak is Cameroon coach today.
Correct.
He's a local guy, and a lot of us even locally think that he's not qualified, but so he's doing a good job. Making mistakes that white people have made, and I can assure you that half of the challenges is from people from the diaspora who think that we need a white man. Are you coming with this idea that you are superior? Are you coming with this idea that you are better? Which is okay, you have seen a lot of good things, but don't you think your element should be with the expertise that you have from what you've seen out there to add value to what is locally possible.
I think you make a very great point there. And a few weeks ago, I was on a podcast like this, the Sagi Fogwe Show, and we were talking about something relative to this topic. And the first thing I brought up, I said, and this was a message I was passing to our brothers and sisters in the diaspora, because somebody asked, what is it that somebody in the diaspora who is trying to emigrate back to Cameroon, what can they bring? I said I will start with the things you shouldn't bring. The number one thing you shouldn't bring is arrogance. Don't sit anywhere in the diaspora and think people in Cameroon are waiting to save them. You are not coming to save them.
Thank you.
You are not coming to feed them.
Thank you.
You are coming to enhance with the knowledge that you have. And sometimes you are actually coming to learn. That is the position I take. I always tell people, don't come with arrogance. Understand that the fact that you've been there doesn't mean you are better. For example, sometimes people will call a doctor in Cameroon, their mother or their father is sick, and a nurse in America will call a doctor and you're trying to tell the doctor his job. This guy has left QS. QS is one of the top medical schools in Africa, in Central Africa. Other countries send their doctors to come and chase in QS. This guy has left QS. He's done a specialization in maybe Suka in Nigeria. And you are telling this guy his job. Just because maybe you're working for some big hospital in UK or in America and you think all of a sudden you know more than a doctor because they're in Cameroon. So that arrogance is what number one, I tell people, keep it out of the door. The second thing, when you're thinking about our country, when you're thinking about our motherland, Africa, think about the things that can bring us partnerships. What does partnership mean? Partnership means the ideas you have. Don't think you have monopoly of good ideas. Don't think you know all the good ideas. Understand that there are a lot of people who are educated, who are intelligent, who are exposed, who might be just need an opportunity to show what they have. That is why I'm very intentional and deeply, deeply appreciative of what you do. Because you are one of those real people who seek to change the minds first, because it all starts in this mind, Tonton. They say if the mind doesn't believe it, the body won't achieve it.
And if I may add to thanking you, and the local people should not be complex too, because there's a lot of complexity, and they should be adventurous. I speak to my people because I mean a lot of us locally, we don't travel, we don't read. We don't educate our minds. We're not prepared for people abroad, and nobody abroad can talk to me anyhow.
I agree,
because I have a travel history, I have education, I have a background, I have experience. So when you're coming to me, you're surprised. I actually know where you stay. I know your zip code. I know your door number, and I definitely travel better than you. On I don't travel coach. So when you come in to talk to me, you're talking to business class mindset. You're talking to first class mindset. You're talking to educated mindset. You're talking to experienced mindset. You're talking to, I know from the ghetto to the get-go
to this boardroom,
you know. So exactly. So there's a lot of problems with us also locally, because we're envious. We probably went to the embassy 7 times and we didn't have a visa. We probably have tried everything possible, and we look at you as, okay, you talk so because you didn't come out. That's first of the things that we need also to remove from our minds, so we can profit from the experience. Truth be told, people in the diaspora have seen better and know better sometimes, especially the ones with your mindset. And we should be humble enough to know that there's a lot we can gain from them in terms of opportunities, in terms of experience and added value.
The reason why is, first of all, earlier I talked about the fact that the young people today are very privileged because they have a lot more dexterity and ease of assimilation. Assimilation means assimilating information, assimilating skills, assimilating know-how, right? They are easily more flexible. They can learn computer systems faster. They are more comfortable with those things. So the first thing I tell them is, I said, with the phone and the internet connectivity, you can connect. And I don't say that to be nice. I say that because I live it on a daily basis. I'll give you an example. As you know, I do a lot of speaking, I do a lot of coaching and things like that. I have a YouTube channel, right? And I need graphic designers. I need graphic designers. I need people who design thumbnails for me, people who design flyers for me, people who edit videos for me. And everybody I work with is local in Cameroon or Nigeria. Absolutely. And it's intentional. It's intentional because
say all the things on your page on the
everything I do, my editors,
local guys here?
They are local people in Cameroon. I have 2 people in Nigeria. I have 4 people in Cameroon.
Wow.
Everything about my media, my content, everything is done locally, and it's intentional because I want to prove that we have the skill sets. We need opportunities. And so for those of us who are out there in the diaspora, right, we have to make a conscious effort to bring opportunity and partnership with our brothers and sisters who have the skill set. And the reason why too is because when I engaged some of these people to work with, I was open with them. I opened my Fiverr page. Fiverr is a platform where you can get any kind of gig from around the world, from anybody around the world, right? I opened the Fiverr page and I showed them, I said, listen, over the last 2 years, I've spent X thousands of dollars on people from Bangladesh, on people from India. Great stuff, nothing bad with that. But it will not be a bad idea if a portion of that is being spent on designers who are local to Cameroon or to Africa, because that brings in revenue into our economy, it brings in revenue into our systems, and it empowers that group.
So imagine like 7 of you are doing that in one city and a couple of other people from the diaspora are doing the same.
The multiplier effect will be significant. I understand the challenges too. Sometimes you might need a little bit of guidance and training to get the people up to speed. But there is nothing wrong with that. In all jobs I've had in my life, somebody had to train me. Somebody had to give me a chance, right? So to me, it is very, very, I'm passionate about that. I'm intentional about that because the skills are there. So for the young people listening to us right now, I want to advise you to learn some basic computer skills. For example, learn how to design multimedia stuff. Learn about social media management. Learn about video editing, because these are skills that don't necessarily need you to go through a rugged university program, but they are high in demand skills. And the reason why I say so is because I'll give you an example. YouTube platform. YouTube is the 2nd largest search engine in the world. YouTube has 2.4 billion active users a day. All of those users need some kind of service. They need somebody to do a flyer, do a video. Number 3, the content economy today is about $500 billion. They are projecting, it's less than that, but they are projecting that by 2027, the content economy would have hit more than $1 trillion.
So content economy would include everything on social media.
Everything on social media,
everything on, on mainstream.
Yes.
Content would be include recordings, would include everything on LinkedIn,
podcasts,
on all the available YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. And you imagine, that's massive. So are you going to be part of that traffic or not? That's what he's talking about.
That is the question, right? And as a young person, and that is why I talk about the mindset, because the mindset will be able to start looking at some of these things and saying, you know what, yes, I might not have formal employment today by the government, which is not possible for the government to employ everybody, right? But with my skill set, I can get people who I can provide the services to.
And what are the services you can provide? You can provide video services for TikTok. A lot of us are not educated past 50. We don't know what TikTok is. We don't know that with TikTok you can use for BTL and ATL. Like PR and advertising, you can use them for both. Outdoor, you can provide content for billboarding. You can get stuff for SMS, bulk SMS communication. You can get stuff for it's a massive opportunity for everybody. For videography, you can create content for people who speak public speaking, how to speak in public, little tips on how to speak in public. You can get stuff for people how to communicate when somebody is dead, how to communicate when somebody is not well, there's a lot of stuff, and that's what he's talking about. And he, from his end, is planning to help you people, not only be partners with you people. And you people, as in the young folk and the people ready to listen, accompany them to make lives even better. We're talking to Gustav B. Achu.
Absolutely.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's get some music so I can breathe. There's no water in the studio today. Bea just decided not to do. We're doing dry fasting.
That's what it is today.